Good morning. Great morning. Wonderful morning. Spectacular morning. Outstanding morning. Magnificent morning. Yes, the big, beautiful reminder that you get to choose. You get to choose what's happening in this inner world, which is where all the magic happens. That power of choice you have to accept, reject ideas is what will lead you to the outcomes that you seek. Remember, your outer world, which is something that you're maybe wanting to change, well, that outer world is a reflection of what's happening in your inner world. And your inner world is a world of thought. And you have this opportunity to change it to be whatever you want. Think about how there's no limit to what you can imagine. Well, now why is that important? Well, it ties specifically to the message that I'm sharing with you that I remind you of every single day. It's because that imagination of yours is the starting point. The starting point of what? The starting point of all creation, which means there's infinite possibilities for you. Write that in your notes. There are infinite possibilities for me. Why? Because I can imagine whatever I want. Yes, you. That's the magnificence in you. That's the essence of who you are. And the sooner you tap into that and engage with it, the sooner you start using it instead of thinking about it as knowledge, the sooner your results will start changing on the outside. And what's amazing is that it works for everything. You want to change how you feel most of the time? Change how you think most of the time. You want to change the outcomes that continually keep happening? Change what's happening in your mind. Change what's automatic in you. You want this to become a material fact in your world, whatever this is, this dream of yours? Make it your dominant thought. That's a simple one. Make it your dominant thought. Become magnificently obsessed with this idea to the point of where you're one with it. Yes, goal card is definitely something you should have. So fun. We were tapping into this and thinking the results this morning, and Bob was talking about it. If you write down the idea and lock into it and make it important, put it on your goal card. He says it must take form. And it's true. Think about you being here in these calls right now. Why are you here? You know why? Because you became emotionally involved with the idea of being here. And it's the same way for everything that's in the room you're in right now. All right. So we've been diving into this. You should have this book, this physical book. If you don't have a copy of this book, then just click on the link that we provide you where you can go ahead and get this on Amazon. And also make sure that you have a copy of this beautiful companion, The Subconscious Code, which is an incredible, very simple, easy to read guide to help you to organize your thoughts. And then also as a reminder, if you'd love to dive deeper into this, then be sure to join us for our next Majestic Mastery event, which is taking place next Saturday, the 22nd, where we're going to shatter the illusion of self-sabotage being a thing. There's no such thing as self-sabotage. All right, so now let's go into where we are. Let's dive into this magnificent book. Here we go. One, two, three, boom. There it is. All right. Now, the page that we're on is page 135. And this section number 12 is what we went over in the last call, but we're going to go over it again. Why? Because it's important. Now, before I do dive into this, I want to emphasize the two first words here, and that is the law. and how important it is for you to recognize that the law, whatever the law is that you're speaking of, is no respecter of you. It doesn't care about you. The only purpose of the law, when it is a law, is to enforce the law. Think in terms of this law that we call gravity. The law of gravity doesn't give a shit about you. So here, okay, I have crazy awesome stick person as a physical element. Well, what happens to a crazy awesome stick person if I let it go? Whoosh, drops. Does it care whether or not it's this? It meaning gravity? Does it care whether or not it's my goal card or these mints? Or how about the book? Does it care? No. Let go. Drops. Yeah, you see that? Doesn't care. Drops. Now, this is important because this is where you get to use the laws. Now, here he's talking about the law is that thought will manifest in form. Remember, thought externalizes itself. This ties into one of the most beautiful reminders about this that I love to share, and it ties into what James Allen talks about in terms of what's happening in your inner world. A lot of us think and believe that we can hide our thoughts. You can't, it's not true. Why? Because your thoughts lead to feelings, then lead to actions, lead to results. See, your results are the manifestation of how you've been thinking. They always show up as outcomes. When you're feeling a certain way, I got news for you. When you're feeling a certain way, you're externalizing the thought that you have, so you can't hide it. Feeling sad, you can't hide it, how you've been thinking. Why? Because it's an expression of the sadness that you're thinking about. You're happy, I got news for you. You can't hide it. Why? Because it'll express in your emotion. Now let's think about when it comes to, ready? Whoa, crazy awesome goal. This will start taking shape in your outer world if this becomes the dominant thought. See, here's again the law. It'll start to show up. And as Neville Goddard says, if you're observant, you'll see outer reality taking shape upon the model of your imagination if your thought is dominant with this image. See, it's what's called being loyal to the unseen reality. I love that definition of faith that Neville Goddard shares. Now, with that, tie this into you. The law is that thought will manifest in form. The physical things that are in the room you're in right now are there because somebody imagined those things. Your phone, which is actually a handheld computer, right? The paint on your walls, the bookshelves in your room, the books on the bookshelf, the lights, the doorknobs, the door, your car. Thought will manifest in form, and only one who knows how to be the divine thinker, the one who understands it, because that's what he's talking about, of his own thoughts, can ever take a master's place and speak with authority. You want to speak with authority? Engage with what's being talked about. And when I'm talking about speak with authority, I'm talking about speaking with authority about what it is that we're sharing with you. Get the experience, practice, use the information. Clearness and accuracy are obtained only by repeatedly having the image in mind. Now, isn't this interesting? He's talking about using your will. Remember, you have six higher mental faculties: imagination, perception, reason, will, memory, intuition. And here he's pointing out again that clearness and accuracy, in other words, the image being clear, are obtained only by repeatedly having the image in mind. In other words, it'll start to externalize and take shape. You'll start to build the plans. Everything will start taking form. Each repeated action renders the image more clear and accurate than the preceding, and in proportion to the clearness and accuracy of the image will the outward manifestation be. And this is something that I've been saying to you consistently and persistently throughout every single one of these calls. Your change in your outer world will always be in direct proportion to the change you've made inside. Nothing more, nothing less. You want big, beautiful changes in your outer world? If this is a big, beautiful change that you will love on the outside, guess where you must make big, beautiful changes first? Inside. You must build it firmly and securely in your mental world, the world within, before it can take form in the world without. And you could build nothing of value, even in the mental world, unless you have the proper material. When you have the material, you can build anything you wish, but make sure of your material. You cannot make broadcloth from shoddy. Now, what's he talking about? He's talking about what you're shaping that thinking substance into. Remember, it's malleable. It's something that you can shape and mold to be whatever you want. See, that's that thinking substance that permeates, penetrates, fills the inner spaces of the universe of which you have access to. Now, the clearer you are in shaping this substance, which is intelligent, the more refined it is, the more power you have, the quicker it takes shape in your outer world. I'm going to go over this again. This is so important.